We've already seen the effect of success in drafting well in DeForest Buckner's departure. As teams have success, their players are good, they get more expensive. And, one of the things that obviously happens then is now it's on your quarterback to get better. That happened in Seattle where Russell Wilson kept getting better even as the roster got less talented. Do you view Jimmy Garoppolo? Like, how do you look at Jimmy? Is there another level to him this year in your mind?
Yes, but going back to Wilson, that's true. And they also lost Marshawn Lynch and his effectiveness, and there was more on him. But they have not won a Super Bowl with that model. They've gotten close. Yeah. But the model that, to pay that defense and to keep the Legion of Boom together and the pass rush, Averill and Bennett, that's what won and dominated. So, yes, Russell's become a much better thrower of the ball, much better pocket quarterback, much better out-of-the-pocket quarterback. He has some deficiencies that you can exploit, but he'll also exploit your strength. So he's over time, I've learned to embrace him more. Initially, I was not a huge fan of his, but I think he has evolved in a way Kaepernick never did. Now, as far as Garoppolo, I think what he has to work on, the splash plays are there. The 49ers scored almost 30 points a game, and they had some pick sixes. The defense scored, but they scored almost 30 points a game. It's the second highest scoring offense in football. So people believe I think in our minds, we think if you're going to score, you've got to throw to score. Well, no. Baltimore was the highest scoring team in the NFL. They're a run-based team. So the two highest scoring teams in football were run-based teams. So now Garoppolo's still going to contribute. And he contributes mightily in the run game because of his smarts. Alert, alert, alert. And where we're going with the run game. That's all on him there. So that's the Tom Brady part of it. But there's a lot of splash plays. Jimmy threw for a high number of yards. His touchdowns were there. The team scored. What he's got to eliminate is the poor plays. So I think the good and the great are there. They have the high percentage of hitting the deep throw. The 49ers threw the ball deep the least amount of any team in the league, but he hit the highest percentage. I think his deep ball will improve this year. It's not as strong as other quarterbacks in the league, and it's not as strong as even other quarterbacks on the roster. When you watch practice and watch C.J. Beathard, he throws the ball as far as the ball in the air and the NFL film spiral. You're like, wow, look at that ball, soar. He throws that ball better than Jimmy, but Jimmy's coming off an ACL. So I think as time goes on, he'll throw that ball more frequently and hopefully hit on it as high of a percentage as he did, which was number one. But what he's got to eliminate is the interception. Where was that? What was that throw? Did he not see Luke Kuechly buzz in that linebacker level? We all saw it. If you're checking Carolina's defense, you're looking at Luke Kuechly. If you're checking Minnesota's defense, you got your eyes on Eric Kendricks. And how did you not see Eric Kendricks in the playoff game? So the interceptions need to come down. But I think that's a product of him still trying to make a play. Some of those interceptions are balls that hit receivers' hands. Yeah, they were a little high. So there's all that game. The interceptions, I think, need to be in single digits. I would tolerate, 9, 8, 7. They don't have to be 1, 2, 3 like some of these freakish numbers. But what bothered me more were the fumbles. He had 10 fumbles last year. He lost 5. And that is on him. He needs to secure the ball and not fumble the ball and not lose the ball. And especially with this defense, like Kyle said, I was more conservative calling the game because my defense is so great. Let's just punt it back to him. We're going to get the ball back in 4 plays. Jimmy's got to think that way as well and secure the ball with 2 hands. When I look at the one sequence, the Seattle home game, 8-0, Veterans Day night, Monday Night Football, that they were controlling that game. And then he gets the strip sack, the scoop and the score, Clowney and Poona Ford. It happened again to start the second half, but I know the tackles were having a hard game coming back. Lynchy and Staley were just back, and they weren't on their game that night. But he's got to hold the ball. So you can take a sack, especially with this defense. Don't fumble the ball to that team. So I think the improvement in Jimmy's game is the splash plays are there at a winning level, at a high scoring level. Continue to think that way. Interceptions, bring them down, and then fumbles, put two hands on the ball, take a sack. Don't give the other team the ball.